Yeah, okay. So as I mentioned, we'll start a simple execution. Okay. So instead of that, I mean to say, instead of there go for notepad, I'm going to use the word, so that where we can show lively demonstrate that implementation of the table also. So it will, maybe it may give you more understanding about the table structure. Yeah, fine. Okay. So now, as we know, the CRUD operations, totally five operations now totally here, with respect to what I can say that uh, what do you call database interactions. Okay, so generally in database interactions we may use these five generally. So what are that, as we know already, so that I will tell you one by one. Yeah, I hope you are able to see my content also. Yeah, the first one, as we know, the create. Okay, second one, obviously insert the data. Okay, third one will be the, we can go for updation. Okay, so, otherwise select. Okay, so select in nothing but fetching or reading the data. Okay, and the fourth one we can go for update the data, and the last one, fifth one, as we know, delete. Okay, so these all operations we commonly used in real-time applications, as I mentioned already. So these are the examples, like as I already explained that insert examples are, create means table creation, that is the basic structure creation. So this is table creation, and insert means like registration and creation. I mean that registration. Sorry. Yeah. So registration, and also like we have something like contact form filling or feedback, upload, post, so etc. These are all examples for insert operation generally. In real time, I'm syncing. I mean that in real time applications, what are the different operations you are able to see, that I'm syncing with this particular operation, so that you can easily understand. Okay. So yeah, I'm not able to hear your voice. Is it audible now? Can you reconfirm once again? Is it audible, everybody? My voice is audible to you? Hello? Can anyone confirm that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. Okay. So similarly, selector read is example for display the information. Okay. Or view the data, view like view post or view queries or view links. That everything will belongs to the select only. Okay. And update will comes to the example like update profile. Very commonly another one we are using change password. Yeah. So these are all different real-time examples for update operation. Delete, you know, straightforward. So if you want to delete some data, so delete some information. Okay. So we will use this particular delete request. So likewise, for each and every query, there will be a real-time operation. So based on the respective component and requirement, we will take care. Yeah, now we'll see one by one queries. Okay. So first one, like example, the creation, like if you want to insert the data, or if you want to retrieve the data, or if you want to delete, whatever you want to do, before that, first we need to create the table, definitely. Okay. So for that, we will use a command in SQL is create. Okay. So create command will help you to create the new table. So simply I can write one line of sentence. So it's used to create the new table. Okay. So here, what the syntax means, like create table, table name. Okay, and followed by column names. So column name 1, comma, column name 2, like that. We can write any number. Okay, so this is syntax for it. But after column name, we may also provide two things. One is data type, what type of data we are going to be inserting in the table, and also if you want to give the constraint, so constraint also we can give it. So similarly for all the columns, the same fields we have to provide. So in that case, it will create a new table. Assume that very simple case we can take it, so it's so easy to understand. We can go for a product information. Okay, so I want to store some product information, so for that I'm taking the create table products. I'm taking, okay, products, and followed by like create table name followed by columns. Let's take, I'm giving product ID, so I'm taking an int like numbers I'm going to be storing, and for every table there should be one unique column, that is primary key column, so I'm giving product ID. Okay, and then after we generally use product name, so product name will be test generally. So in SQL, if you want to see, in Java and Python we will use string, right? So similarly in SQL, if you want to store some strings or text, so varchar will be used, followed by size, how much you want to store. Let's take example, I'm giving 50 characters maximum for the name, and after that, like I'm giving the product cost, I mean the price, so I'm taking as a float, mean that decimal it will allow. Okay, so similarly what other parameters you want to store, like maybe description or maybe model or brand or like that, similarly how many columns you require to store, that many you can create it. It's not mandatory that every table should have equal number of columns or every table should have the equal number of constants. It depends on your requirement, you can define anyway. Okay, so I'm just stopping here by simply cost, and or else we can go with another column as p description. Okay, so that is also I'm taking as a varchar of some 100 for some simplicity I'm taking. Okay, so now if you run this query in your SQL machine, so then automatically it will create a new table, so which is similar to, I will show you the structure, like how many columns we created, 4 columns, right? So likewise one structure will be created, so where it will create the first column as a PID, and the second column as a P name, and third column as P cost, and fourth column will be P description with empty data. So it just create a structure of the table, it will keeps the structure in the your system. It doesn't create any kind of data, it doesn't insert any data until you inserted it. So whenever you creating a table, simply an empty table will be created with the given columns and data types, and then we can start working on other operations, whatever I mentioned, like insert, delete or update, whatever the operation. Okay, so similarly the first operation, obviously whenever you want to see the data, first you need to insert the data. Okay, so first we have to start with insert, but before going to insert, I'm just keeping a couple of minutes for you people. So do you have any doubts as of the first screen? So this is what I told you, like totally 5 operations we are going to be operating in application side. So out of that, the first one is create, as I mentioned already. So that syntax will be generally, what is the purpose of create, I hope you understand. It is used to create the new table. Okay, so under the table, like syntax, like how we will be creating the table in SQL. So this is the syntax and this is the example what I created. So like that we can create any table, like employees, customers, students, faculties, whatever we require. As per our requirement we can do that, there is no rules and regulation. Okay, and now once you execute this query, the output will be looks similar to this, and where you can insert some data. So now, as of now, if you have any doubts, please ask me, I will re-explain. Otherwise I will go to the insert operation, I will show you how to insert the data, and if I'm performing insert, what will happen, I will show you. No doubts, shall I move to the next point then in that case? Okay, then great. So now I'm going to insert operation. So as usual, so this command is used to insert, is used to insert new record. Okay, so or we can say that new data into the table. Okay, so if you want to insert anything newly into the table, we will use the insert command, but if you want to modify something which is already available, we'll use update command. That is the major difference. Okay, so now the syntax for this, so insert into table name. Okay, and followed by column 1 comma column 2 comma, like that how many columns you want to insert, mention that, and space followed by values, and similarly whatever the columns you mentioned, similarly you have to provide the respective values based on the matching of indices. Like example, here column 1 whatever you specify, the same value should be mentioned here. Like example, if you mention the p name here but you are giving PID here, it doesn't work out. So if you take PID PNAME, give the PID PNAME like that only. If you take PNAME PID, then give the PNAME PID. So the order is not relevant to your table structure, but the order of the columns how you specified here, that should be matched with values specification. Okay, that is important. Okay, this is syntax. Now we will go with one example in the product example only. Okay, so now what is the example means, like I'm giving, and SQL is case insensitive, Nana. Like you can write the query in uppercase as well as lower case, it doesn't matter, it will work out. Okay, so now I'm writing insert into, as we know the table name is products, and here the columns PID, as we know P name and P cost, and finally P description. Okay, and followed by we can pass the values. So while you're passing the values, if these are numbers you can give directly, like example 1 2 3, but if it is text you have to provide in the single quotes, you can't directly give it in the text. Okay, so TB, and similarly if it is cost also in the float also it will be giving directly. And finally let's take red in color, I'm giving just example I'm giving. Okay, and now finally close that. Now whenever you run this query successfully, so then automatically what happened, so it will create a I mean that it won't create the table, I mean to say it is already there. So to the existing table it will what happen, it will create a new record, I mean that it will add the new record into the respective table. Example, as we know PID, PNAME, PCost and P description. Okay, now in this record what happened, it will insert 1, and here it is TV, and here it is 20,000, and here it is red in color. So similar like that it will insert the data into your what we can say that table. Okay, so now assume that I want to insert one more record, so write the one more record, similarly the same approach how we written. Yeah, so now you see I'm just inserting everything but except P description, assume that. So I'm inserting the only 3 parameters. Now you can pass only 3 values, no need of passing all the parameters. And here I'm passing 10,000, and here I'm passing as a mobile, assume that. Okay, and now what happened, it will add a new record into this particular table once that query is successfully executed. So like how we are inserting here, similarly it will insert in the table in the real time also. Now it will take 2, and here it will show the mobile, and here it will show the 10,000, and it will keep the empty because we didn't answer anything. So I hope you understand. So just go through the query what I written there. If you have any doubts you can ask me now. Sorry. Any doubt as of now? Uh, Not able to hear. So what is the difference? What is the difference? The empty and null. Both are same, Nana. In general terminology, like in our regular terminology, we called empty, but in SQL terminology, we call it as a null. So if something is not there in the column or record, we call it as a null value. Okay. But when coming to the Java or Python, it's different. Empty means null means it's object, and when coming to the empty means empty double quotes, but in SQL both are same. This is we treated as a null only in SQL. So any other doubts from anyone? Okay, it's good to hear. So yeah, so I'm going to covering the next point here. Okay, so as we mentioned, so this is the way of inserting, and the last way of approach also we can just cover it to make it simplify for you people. Okay, so what is that? As I mentioned already, so the order of the columns need not be order of the table how you created. Okay, so example, I'm just giving p name here and pid here. Okay, so like this also you can do. There is no rule that always keep the everything in the align. So now, but the order of the value should be in the same. So first we given the p name, right? So you have to give the p name first and then give the pid. So that order should match, like how you given the order in the products column names. In the similar way, value should be passed out, but there is no rule that this column order should match with this column order. Okay, so that only you have to remember always. Okay, so now I'm going to be inserting the other one, because as you know, if it is successfully executing, it will insert another sorry, yeah. So this is the third one, and it has only name called, instead of mobile I can take some PC. Okay, sorry, PC, and now I can go with PC. So similar to this. Okay, so likewise you can work on that. Yeah, now the next step will be update. So let's assume that now the thing is, let's take example. uh, Here assume that here whatever the data we missed it, like example, if we go for second record, description is missing. For the third record, cost and description is missing. Assume that. So now you want to update it. It's not the reinserting. So if you want to reinsert means you need to delete the existing one and you need to insert, but it's a somewhat time waste. So instead of that, you can go to update the directly data instead of delete and recreation of. Okay, so for that only we will use a command called update. Okay, so update command will be used for change the data in the existing table. Okay, so it will update or modify, I can say that. Okay, modify the existing data. It's not existing data. Yeah, it's not do any kind of insertion of new data. So just it will just it will modify or change the existing what we have the information. Okay, so syntax for this particular update is, so update table name. Assume that what is the table name here? Products. But anyway, we will write the syntax first. Table name, set column is equal to value. Similarly, comma, column is equal to value to. Similarly, how many you want to update, you can write. And finally, you can write the where condition if it is required. So what is the difference? I will explain. Please listen. So we'll take the same example so that you can easily understand that. Okay, copy. I'm doing the paste over here. Yeah. So now we'll do one by one updation by query. You can understand what I'm trying to do. Okay. For example, if I'm not writing the where condition, what will happen, sir? Means if I'm not writing where condition, it will by default, what it will do means it will update all the records at a time. So that means, so what it means, yeah. So for example, if I'm writing simply update p description, sorry, update product. Okay, set p description is equal to, let's take, I'm writing good. Okay, simply written and executed. Assume that. So in that case, what happened? So for all the columns, whatever rows, how many is there? 3 rows. So for 3 rows, it will update with the same value called good only. So that is the major difference you can find with where, without where. Where means selection. So which you want to update. So if you are not giving the where, so see, whatever I explained, it will update like this for every value which is there in the rows. Okay. But if I'm doing the same example, assume that update products. Okay, set same example, p description is equal to, let's take, I'm giving bad, where. Okay, pid is equal to given 2. What it means? Now it will update the product description as a bad for the only product which is having product id is 2. So that means for the second only record will update as a bad. So this is the major advantage of the where clause. So where will help you to understand or to make it filtration of the data. Okay, so that specifically a particular record, a set of records can be updated or can be retrieved or can be deletable. So in update, delete and retrieval, we will use where clause. So it is used to generally filter the data as a single or as a set. Okay, that is major advantage. And similarly, you can update multiple records also, as I shown you I mean that previous syntax, like update products set. So here we can write what is the two things we want to apply. P cost, assume that 3000 I'm giving. Similarly, P description is equal to I'm giving test. Okay, and now where PID is equal to 3 it is. Okay, so now what happened? So two things will be updated. First one, cost will be updated as a 3000 and description will be updated as a test because it is PID 3. So this is how we will do the update data, or we will do the updation in the any particular the table. So any doubts as of now? Update query. So if you clear with this, we will go with delete. So any doubts as of now? Any doubts? I hope I didn't hear anything. Okay, done, good. So I can go with delete. So basically delete is used to delete the records, obviously. Okay. So now the syntax will be delete from table name. Again, if you want to add where condition, you can add the same approach. For example, here if you consider here, simply if you return the delete from products, so what happened? By this you can understand how many records are. 3 records, 3 will be deleted. So the total records, how many are available in the table, will delete from the respective table if you return the query like this. But if you want to specifically delete, again same approach, we have to add the where condition. Like example, delete from products where PID is equal to 3, assume that. So now in this cut, what happened? It will delete the only second record from the table. So it doesn't delete the other components. So this is how the action will be taken. Like example, if you consider here, so in this case, what happened? You need to delete from table names means the expected result will be, sorry, it's not the cell, just a second, it is rows. Order frame, delete cell, yeah, delete entire cell. Yeah, so it is also will, yeah, so it will delete all 3 records. It will keep the only structure, but structure will be remains like that only. It doesn't delete the structure. I mean to say, it does not delete the table. It will only delete the whatever the data we have in the table, that will only delete. If you want to delete really table also, we have a command drop. So drop table name. So this will help you to delete the complete table structure also. Okay. So now in this case you understood already, right? So it will delete only third record. It will keep the other 2 records like that only. Okay. So it will delete only the third record because it we mention as a 3. So like that it will delete the data which is there in the DB. Okay. So any doubt as of now? So here you CRUD SQL course. I will share with this so that you can utilize it. Okay. eDoc. Okay then. So now after that the last option will be select. So select will help you to read the data. I mean to say to fetch the data, to display the data, to view the data. So to view the data. So that is the help of the select. Just a second, Anna. So this is like Sirena. So the this is the select command we will use it to fetch the information of the table. So this is very straightforward questioning. Like if you want to see the all the data from the table, simply you can write select star from table name. What is the table name? Assume the products. So simple. So now you are able to see entire table as an output. Whatever the table we have, entire table you are getting as an output similar to this. Similarly, you can write where condition also. So select star from products where id equal to, for example, PID equal to, if I'm giving 3. So now we'll get only specifically third record only as an output. Okay. Similarly, we can write select star from products where PID in. So in operator we can use for specifically like set of values. If you want to pass, we can use in operator. And similarly, we can use range also. So to start from products where like PID between 10 and 20. Okay, these are all different keywords which commonly used in SQL. Okay, so this is the approach of writing that. Yeah, and also multiple conditions also you can place. Like example, select the star from products. Okay, where let's take let's take in this case only PID is less than 3 and P cost is more than 10,000. So like this also we can add the and condition. And means it has to validate both the things at a time. I mean that if both satisfied, then only it will return the result. Similarly, if you want to do R case, means any either of the condition, we can use the R class. So like that, we have so many keywords in the like SQL to work with. Like if you want to do the sorting, like if you want to sort the data, yes, we have option that also. So I will share the link also to go through the in detail about SQL. So you can just go through that. Like we have order by clause. So order by example, I'm giving p name. So alphabetical order data will be printed. So likewise, there some more keywords and some more clauses will be there. Some more class will be this that you can go through. I will share the link today, so you just come across with the doubts, and tomorrow I will clarify the doubts also. So can we, sir, can we work this in Oracle Live SQL? Yes, you can. So Sinana, so these queries, that is only the next class I'm going to be working like a workshop. Like I will take the database and I will show all these things in the database. Okay, that is the tomorrow class. I mean the tomorrow means next class planning one. Okay, so where I will showcase everything what we like database wise. Like I mean to say like I will take the one database and I will showcase all these queries one by one, and I will execute, and I will start execution or mapping with the database like our Java programming. That is what is my plan. But directly if I'm telling over there, you may confuse. So to overcome that one, today I took the class for queries explanation. Okay. So next class I will take the live like Eclipse with either Oracle I'm taking the MySQL database, where I will showcase everything like bit by bit, whatever we explained here. So practical I will showcase so that you can get to understand. But meanwhile, just go through that and understand it, okay, so that you will clarify some of the doubts, whatever you have, like maybe in next class, okay. So that is all about today class, and go through that. If you have any doubts, please ask me. So before closing the class, if you have any last minute questions, you can ask me. So this is all about the CRUD operations, what we are going to be using in SQL or data dynamic web application creation. Mostly 99% these queries only will be useful, and practically like how these queries can be executed and how these are mapping with our Java program, that I will start from Wednesday onwards, like next class onwards. Okay. So if anyone have any doubts, please ask. Anyone have any doubt in this as of now? Okay, then it's great. So we can move on next class. Okay, take care. Bye in that case.